Hi guys, welcome to Chess Deep Study. Today we are going to talk about one of the checkmate patterns, the Lolli's mate. The Lolli's mate is a common checkmate pattern performed by the cooperation between the queen and the pawn, typically against the castle or the king. When it plays queen g7 mate, the pawn defends the queen. This pattern is fairly common. Once the queen arrives on h6, it is often impossible to defend against the mate's threats. This pattern is named after an Italian chess player from 18th century. His name is Lolli. When a pawn gets to f6, it will control g7, creating a number of nice possibilities. Black's king may be stuck on a back rank, so a back rank mate may be possible. In this example, white is actually winning in 3 steps. Black cannot stop the Lolli's mate. It is a pin, so we cannot play g takes f6. Also cannot move the king away as queen takes g7 is mate. g6, queen h6, threatening queen to g7 mate. King to h8, queen g7. He cannot play anything to stop this move, so this mates. Black king at h8 makes room for his rook to go to g8. Thus, in the position shown here, white will still mate if his queen was now on g7 and will protect her. But that will waste him 2 moves to get it there. And in the meantime, black can protect the mating square with rook g8. Yet if white has another heavy piece available, he still can finish off the king. But the mate won't happen at g7 this time. If he plays a rook g8, protecting the g7 pawn, then we go fg, rook takes g7, and then rook c8 check, rook g8, and then queen takes g8 is mate. The back rank mate. Thanks for the opponent destroying the defense of the black's king, the f6 pawn. So he played g6, we play queen to h6. He played king to, rook to g8. There's 2 mating, 2 ways of mating here. First one is queen takes h7, king takes h7, then rook to h2. The pawn protects the g2 7 square, and the rook on the h file will mate black's king. So what's the other way? The other way may be harder to find, but it's rook to c8. If the rook leaves, then queen g7 will mate. If you don't move anything, well, he can't, because you need to move the rook. The king cannot move, the pawn cannot move. This pawn can move, but queen g7 will be mate. As you have noticed, this is a pin, that's a rook. So queen g7 is possible, and that's mate. So he plays rook takes c8, then queen g7, that's mate. So queen takes h7, and then rook to h2. Let's do our checklist. White's f pawn is pushed to f6. The queen can get closer to the black's king, which matches the elements of Lolli's mate. Although cannot mate on g7, but Black's situation is extremely dangerous. White has many ways to end this game. The bishop will pin the pawn on g6 after queen takes h7, king takes h7, and the bishop will pin the g6 pawn. Queen h6, and then queen takes h7. This mates. Rook to h5. Use the pin. The g7 pawn, f6 pawn protects g7. The rook cuts off the h5 and mates. So there are 3 mating ways here. The first one is queen takes h7. The second one is rook d8. Is similar with this one when we played rook c8, but this time it is rook d8, but the same thing, rook takes d8, queen d7. Another good move here, and as you have seen, the arrow, it is bishop c2. So this is a waiting move. He must move something. He can play g5, but queen takes h7 is mate. Bishop here protects the queen. If you move the rook, then it will be mate as well. So the main line is very beautiful, and let's see the next example. White has queen and f pawn arranged for the Lolli's mate, but since black rook is on g8, white will have to use a sequence where he sacrifices queen on h7, and he has no rook in position to go to the h file and mate. Then what did you do? Please pause the video and think for a few seconds. Alright, hopefully you have got it. The move is rook to b8. Rook takes b8. The first lesson of this position is a reminder to think flexibly about how you might work for missing ingredients when you follow up with mating pattern. As we will see in detail soon, a knight often can do the same work performed by bishop and rook in the mate studied so far. The rook must leave, and then go queen g7, it will be mate. If you don't leave, I'll take the rook and followed by queen g7 mate. So there's another move here, is queen takes b8. A second lesson in this position is the importance of combining basic mating principles, which all that you have learned about our tactical tools. If you find a mating pattern close to completion but interrupted by an enemy piece, consider pinning, forking the piece, or taking something else it protects. Knight takes f7 mate. As you can see in this position, starting position, the queen protects f7, so the mate will not work, and the queen protects the b8 square, so rook b8 won't work. But can you see that the queen is protecting b8 and f7? That means he's overloaded. So we can play this rook b8 move. So if you play queen takes b8, then knight takes f7. That is a very good overload tactic. And of course the rook is overload too, protects g7. So we cannot play queen g7 mate, and protects queen rook to b8. So using the two overload piece, we can mate black. Alright, thanks for watching Chess Study. And don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.